Hello, this is Janet Miranda, Executive Director of Priest for Life, joined here by pro-life leader Frank Pavone. Welcome to the program.
Great to be on the set again.
Well, of course, we're going to show everyone right now a clip of Vice President Kamala Harris. And brothers and sisters, stick with us, because after we show you this clip, we're going to show you why. I'm sorry, Kamala, liar, liar, liar. And we're going to show you the truth and unpack it for you so you too can have this conversation with the people you know. We can't let her get away with this tour promoting abortion.
Isn't it unbelievable? This is the best. Well, you know why they have a tour promoting abortion? Very simple. They have got to find something that gets the American people's attention away from the absolute disaster that they have brought to America with the border, immigration, inflation, crime, all these
and
things.
The list goes on and on.
They say, "Oh, let's use abortion as like the shiny red object." You know, don't worry about all these other things here. We're going to give you the right to choose. You know, that's all they have. It's all.
All right, we're going to watch this clip of liar, liar, Kamala Harris. So let's take a look, and then we're going to comment.
The former president handpicked 3 Supreme Court justices because he intended for them to overturn Roe. He intended for them to take your freedoms. And it is a decision he brags about. Yes, he does. A couple weeks ago, he said that for years, quote, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, but he said, quote, I did it, and I'm proud to have done it. And the women should be prosecuted. Proud? Proud? Proud that women across our nation are suffering? Proud that women have been robbed of a fundamental freedom? Proud that doctors could be thrown in prison for caring for their patients, that young women today have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers? How dare he?
So,
where do we start?
Yeah,
I mean,
where do you start?
How many lies in one short clip?
First of all, you know, even in the Supreme Court decision that reversed Roe v. Wade, the Dobbs decision, you know what the majority says at a certain point? The majority, you have the majority opinion, and you have the dissent, right? The minority. The justices in the majority say, you know, the most striking thing about the dissenting opinion is that it makes no reference to the baby.
Right.
And if you look at what Biden's response was when Dobbs came out, he gave a 15-minute address from the White House. Oh, how terrible this is. Didn't once mention the baby.
Right.
And then those remarks right now from the VP, did she mention the baby?
No.
See, and what they do is I often point out to people, look, one of the reasons that abortion is such a contentious issue is that you've got 2 lives.
2 patients.
Right. And people are trying to debate, how do you balance the rights of those 2 lives? The life in the womb, the life of the mother herself. Okay. And you know, the way that they resolve this abortion debate is, okay, look, yeah, it's a contentious thing. What if we just make one of those 2 things that we have to balance disappear? And let's just present it to the American people as, oh, well, it's just women's rights and women's health. Then we can say, oh, what these anti-abortion people are doing, anti-choice people, they're taking women's freedom away, women's health away. It's like you just went on a tirade and pretended to be debating abortion, and you dropped the whole
let's start from the beginning of the tirade. She accused President Trump of hand-picking like this 3 justices that were going to overturn Roe.
Well,
First of all, when he was running for president, he was very upfront. He had a whole list of people. He said, from this list, if I'm giving the chance, I will pick. And he said, you know why this list? Because these are judges who respect the Constitution of the United States.
He was the only candidate to be that transparent.
And he said they, when a case comes before them, will use the Constitution, not public opinion or their personal views, to interpret the decision. And then he picked them one by one as the opportunities happened.
Yeah, but it's not.
Even on the last one he picked, he had no idea a case overturning Roe was going to come before the court.
Well, it's not like the president picks somebody and just puts them on the court.
No, they have
That's
to go
not
to
how
the Senate.
The Senate has to give advice
Yes.
and consent. So the point is, and not only that, but you've got a whole, the president doesn't sit there and say, oh, wait, who do I want on the court? You've got a whole team of people and experts and organizations that they turn to for advice.
But just
that
the
vet these
Senate
people.
hearings of the candidates, and
Yeah.
look what Kavanaugh went through, and Amy Coney Barrett,
Mhm.
what they did to them in those hearings.
You see, what Harris is doing here is she's complaining about this through the Democrat activist judge mentality. In other
Right.
words, they look at the courts as just another political institution where, oh, we've got to get justices on there that support our views on the issues. What we say is we've got to get justices in there that support the Constitution.
Right.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
When you're going to, and you know, Amy Coney Barrett made this point in detail during her speech when she was sworn in. She said, look, you know, the difference between my job description and that of the senators who confirmed me is that they run on the issues. We don't. We've got to put our policy preferences aside. We've got to look at the law and the Constitution,
And
and
make a
we've got to
decision.
judge that way.
Yeah, I know.
And so this is that's
But
why
she said more lies. I just want to go back to her lies, okay? Because then she said that doctors will be jailed for caring for their patients. First of all, no such animal, okay? Because first of all, the laughable thing about a woman and her doctor making a decision for an abortion, we know by the testimonies of women who've had abortions, the first time they met the doctor, they was on the table for procedure. So there was no discussion with their doctor ahead of time.
it's not their doctor, yeah.
But no doctor will be put in jail for performing an abortion, even in, and she makes it sound like in abortion-free states, like say Alabama, right? If a doctor has a patient and he has to terminate that child's life, you know, because at that point, you know, he's got to deliver the baby. You don't abort the baby, you deliver the baby, do everything to resuscitate, and then you care for the mother. So he's not going to go to jail for doing that. And they also try to make it sound like, oh, if a doctor treats a woman for a tubal pregnancy or miscarriage, oh, in an abortion-free state, they're going to get prosecuted. No such thing. They never said they can't provide that kind of care for women. So there's a lot of lies going on around this.
Well, and what we want to prevent doctors from doing is not caring for their patients. Notice once again, the baby drops out of the equation, right?
It's two patients.
What do you mean caring for her patient? That's not what we would say that a doctor broke the law. It's for killing a baby.
Right.
It's like, can you just say those words? You know,
No, they can't.
Medical textbooks.
They can't.
Medical textbooks on abortion. Well, you know.
So the only part of her whole lies do I agree with is when she said, oh, women are suffering. Now, in her mind, women are suffering, mothers are suffering because they can't kill their babies. But in our experience, no. Women are suffering because they have an abortion and then they come to deeply regret the decision because of the physical and psychological damage, and they realize I'm responsible for the death of my baby. That's the suffering.
The
they go
suffering
through.
from abortion.
From abortion,
Yes.
not
That
from.
they just dropped that out of the equation.
Drop it down. I mean, come on. Okay, Kamala, I want you. Here's a challenge, Kamala. Line up for me mothers who regret giving birth to their child.
And we'll line up the
and
ones who
we-
regret their abortion.
Yeah, and let's see what team wins.
Like we just had in Washington.
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
you know,
it's ridiculous.
Let's talk a little bit about this. She said, oh, you know, President Trump bragged about reversing Roe v. Wade. He's right to be proud about having set up the circumstances
Right.
for the reversal of Roe v. Wade. But I always think about in an interview he gave, it was reported by CNN in October of 2016, right before the election. And he was asked point blank, do you want to reverse Roe v. Wade? Because everybody knows that was going to be an issue that, you know, the court would eventually be addressing. And, you know, his answer to that was, he said, look, if I get to appoint 2 or 3 Supreme Court justices, and it wasn't amazing how he hit the nail on the head because he ended up getting 3 appointments, the reversal of Roe will happen automatically. So he didn't present it as, oh yeah, I want to reverse Roe v. Wade. That's why I'm choosing these justices. No, he said it'll happen automatically. Now, why would you say it like that? Why don't you just say, yeah, that's what I want to do? Because he understood that the kind of people he had on that list were not going to invent rights that are not in the Constitution.
Right.
But that's what Roe v. Wade did.
Right.
And that's what the Dobbs decision said, that the mistake of Roe v. Wade was that it invented a right that was not only not in the text of the Constitution, it was nowhere in the history of the Constitution. Because if you say there's a constitutional right, but you can't find the word in the Constitution, you at least have to find it in the history.
The history of our country.
And they said, it said the history's not there.
But you know,
So-
something I always find funny is that even the justice that was in her camp, in Kamala's camp, that she praises, of course, who's now deceased.
Ginsburg.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself has said many times in different interviews that, well, you know, as much as I want to see Roe stand, because I believe in women's rights to abortion, she said it was badly decided.
Yeah.
See, she pointed out, as a pro-abortion justice,
Yeah.
she even felt it's only a matter of time till it falls.
Well,
That was
she
her
had
opinion.
an understanding, obviously, as
Right.
of constitutional reasoning.
Right.
And she felt the same way that a lot of other pro-abortion legal experts feel, that even though they agree with the conclusion of Roe that there should be legal abortion, they say the reasoning stinks.
Right.
I mean, it's an embarrassment, really,
Right.
from a constitutional viewpoint and also from a medical viewpoint. We've had Dr. Thomas Hilgers on these programs talking about the fake science behind Roe v. Wade. Remember, he
course.
wrote a book about that.
Right.
The medical content of that decision is sloppy and inaccurate. And then the history is
Well, they made it up. What's in Roe? It was made up history.
It's an embarrassing argument. No matter
That's
what you
right.
think of the conclusion, the way they tried to get there, and this is what Ginsburg was saying.
Well, I have a little resource here.
This
that
is
you
helpful.
wrote.
Yeah.
This, brothers and sisters, is a great thing. It's called Roe v. Wade Overruled, Understanding the Dobbs Case and Our New Opportunity to Protect the Unborn. Now, listen, for the rest of this election cycle to November, Kamala Harris and her whole cohort and the squad are going to be out there champion abortion. You have to be able to reverse those conversations with the people you know. If you contact us, send me an email at orders@priestforlife.org. Again, orders@priestforlife.org. I will send this to you as a gift, absolutely free, so you can be educated on how to talk about the issue. Because isn't that our job?
Well, and
We've got to expose the lies.
Well, let's answer another line that she used there. That President Trump should be ashamed of the fact that this reversal of Roe v. Wade is taking away your freedoms. Wait a second.
No, it's not.
It's actually expanding your freedoms.
Mhm.
Because what Roe v. Wade said, notice that the subtitle here of our booklet is Our New Opportunity to Protect the Unborn. Dobbs' decision doesn't protect the unborn. It doesn't say abortion is illegal, the unborn must be protected. It doesn't say that.
No.
What it says
turns
is
it back to the people and their elected representatives,
right.
both federal and the states. So
because
it's Congress and the states.
that
both.
increases our freedom.
Right.
Because under Roe, if, as in many places did happen, if the people and their elected representatives, whether we're talking about the state or the federal Congress, wanted to protect the unborn, and many do, and they passed many laws to do that, the court would strike down the laws. The court was actually saying to the people, you cannot protect these children. Was saying to the lawmakers, you cannot protect these children. Now we have more freedom. Because if we want to protect them,
it
we
handed
can.
it back to the legislative body,
Yes.
both
Federal
federally
and
and state,
Right.
and say, here, you the people decide.
Mhm.
You the people decide. Now, she also makes it sound like you can't get an abortion in America. Brothers and sisters,
Oh my
please.
goodness.
You can, they're still killing babies up till 9 months of pregnancy. Should we start naming some of the states?
Well,
here?
how about
Oh,
her
good.
home state of California?
California, New York, Illinois,
New Jersey,
New
Vermont,
Jersey,
Michigan.
Vermont, Michigan. I mean, and the list keeps growing. Oh, on the pro-life side, though, we have
14
states
we got 14 states that protect the
that
babies.
protect the babies.
But even they, like you said before, they have certain exceptions for
Right.
for medical emergencies.
Exactly.
But then you have places like we are here right now in Florida that have been expanding the protections for the unborn.
And of course, now with some of these ballot initiatives, they're trying to take away those rights. Brothers and sisters, we are at a crossroads in our nation. Okay. It's almost like where we were with slavery, where there half of the states wanted slavery and half did not. About half of our states love abortion, half do not. But when you ask the average American, all right, First of all, most Americans think abortion only occurs in the first trimester. Most Americans. They are totally against second and third trimester abortions if you look at the surveys. And, Kamala's making it sound like, oh, poor women, you can't get an abortion. Oh, my goodness, Kamala, hush your mouth. Not only can women get a surgical abortion, but with the chemical abortion, it's rampant all over our country. Women are unfortunately getting chemical abortions, and now they become the abortionists in their home, and they see their baby in the toilet, and it's horrible. And we have testimonies coming through every day at our website, and people seeking healing through Rachel's Vineyard. So you know what, Kamala? Yeah, women are suffering, but they're suffering from abortion, not from not having an abortion. Show, like I said, I dare you, Kamala, produce some women that regret having their baby. You're not going to find them, honey. So anyway, I just thought we just had to expose this and get our people. I always say you got to get as mad as she sounded, but only on the pro-life side.
Yes, he should be proud. We are proud that we got rid of a decision that was the worst decision of the Supreme Court ever. In the category of Dred Scott,
right.
With slavery, but worse than that.
Right.
Because it unleashed, would you not be proud if you ended a decision that has taken 65 million lives? But of course, in the world of Kamala Harris, those babies are just, you got a blind spot. You got a blind spot.
She doesn't mention
Never mind,
baby.
65 million of them.
Right.
Oh, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Right.
It's really annoying. So
I know.
It's good that we let people see
and
that.
also, too, she's all for women's rights. How come you're not protecting the unborn baby girls?
You see, it's not true that they have less rights today than their mothers and grandmothers. They don't have the right to life. If under Roe, they didn't have the right to life.
No.
Now, at least the door is open.
In some states, they have the right to life.
And those are women. Those are
women.
Those are
exactly.
females.
So, brothers and sisters, just to remind you, send me an email at orders@priestforlife.org. We'll send you this great booklet, and you have got to be informed to get involved. And please, do not be silent. So thanks for joining me.
All right. Very good.
Once again,
Very
great
good.
discussion. And remember, brothers and sisters, it's up to you, because there's some abortions only you're going to be able to stop. And therefore, some lives only you can save. Join us again next time. Thank you. God bless.